Mastering the Law of Correspondence, How to Apply It in Your Daily Life. Introduction. With our thoughts, we create our reality. The second principle, known as the Law of Correspondence, will help you understand how and why we sometimes create negative or undesirable situations in our lives. Why do we attract people who lie, cheat, or bring us misfortune? The understanding of this principle is the key to finding solutions to these problems. According to the book The Kybalion, the principle of correspondence states, "As above, so below, as below, so above." Everything in the universe is interconnected. What happens on one level reflects on another. When we truly grasp what occurs in the material world, we begin to understand the deeper spiritual workings of the universe. This principle serves as a powerful mental tool, allowing us to decode the mysteries of the universe by studying just one part of it. The more we understand this connection, the more control we gain over our reality. The law of correspondence suggests that our external experiences are mirrors of our internal state. The clutter on your desk might reflect mental disorganization, while the recurring patterns in your relationships could be revealing something about how you see yourself or how you've learned to give and receive love. The principle of correspondence teaches us that if we want to change our outer world, whether it's improving relationships, achieving success, or finding peace, we must first look inward and make changes within ourselves. At first, this can feel a bit unsettling. It's easier to blame external circumstances or other people for our difficulties, but once you understand and apply this principle, it becomes a powerful tool for transformation. The moment you realize that you are both the cause and the solution to the challenges in your life, everything changes. Suddenly, you're no longer at the mercy of fate, bad luck, or other people's decisions. Instead, you become the creator of your own experience, shaping your reality from the inside out. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about deep, lasting transformation that comes from aligning your internal world with the outcomes you desire. When you master the principle of correspondence, you begin to notice the connection between your thoughts and the situations you attract. You start to see how negative beliefs might be holding you back, or how old emotional wounds might be attracting similar harmful dynamics into your life. And most importantly, you realize that by shifting these internal states, you can change the entire landscape of your life. This principle's strength is rooted in its profound impact and simplicity. The only thing you can manage is your inner world. You don't need to control the outside world. The law of communication functions similarly to a key that opens the door to genuine human development and empowerment. When you embrace this knowledge, every obstacle turns into a chance for recovery and development, and every disappointment serves as a reminder to examine yourself and make the required corrections. Using this idea to master the alchemy of life involves much more than just reaching immediate objectives. It involves a radical change in your perspective on the world and your place in it. It's about realizing that you have the ability to alter your situation. You'll find a degree of personal liberation and change that surpasses anything you've ever experienced as you continue to study and put the correspondence concept into practice. Looking within gives you the ability to influence your surroundings, which is where alchemy's true power lies. Chapter 1. As within, so without. The law of correspondence is one of the most profound principles for understanding how the world around us is shaped by the world within us. At its core, this principle teaches that everything we experience in our external reality is a reflection of our inner state, our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and subconscious patterns. It's like looking into a mirror. What you see on the outside is a direct representation of what's happening on the inside. This principle can unlock a deeper awareness of how we are, often unknowingly, shaping the conditions of our lives. Think of your mind as a projector and your reality as the screen. Whatever thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you hold inside, whether you're conscious of them or not, are being projected outward and manifest as your external experiences. If your inner state is one of peace and clarity, that's what you'll see reflected in your relationships, work, and environment. Conversely, if you're holding on to fear, anger, or doubt, those emotions will cast shadows on your external world, leading to chaos, frustration, or repeated challenges. Let's break it down with a relatable example. Imagine you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and stressed, juggling too many tasks without a moment to breathe. You look around your home or workspace, and what do you see? Chaos, piles of papers, clutter everywhere, dishes left undone. This isn't a coincidence, it's a reflection of your inner state. The clutter you see around you mirrors the mental and emotional disorganization you're experiencing inside. In this scenario, tidying up might feel like an impossible task because the real issue isn't just the physical mess, it's the inner overwhelm that's fueling it. The law of correspondence shows us that the solution doesn't lie in just cleaning up the surface mess, but in addressing the inner chaos first. When you bring order to your inner world, your outer environment begins to follow suit naturally. Another powerful way this principle plays out is in relationships. Have you ever noticed patterns that seem to repeat themselves? Maybe you've found yourself in the same type of relationship again and again, whether it's with a friend, romantic partner, or colleague. Perhaps you feel misunderstood, disrespected, or even betrayed, no matter how many times you change the person you're interacting with. According to the law of correspondence, these repeated patterns are not just random occurrences, they're reflections of internal beliefs and unresolved emotions. If deep down you believe that you're not worthy of respect or love, you might unconsciously attract people who reinforce that belief, even though that's not what you consciously want. It's as if the universe is showing you a mirror, asking you to recognize the inner belief that's shaping your external experiences. Think of it this way. Just as a film projector can only display what's on the reel, your life is displaying the reel of your inner thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. If you don't like the movie that's playing, you don't change the screen, you change the reel. In the same way, if you don't like what's happening in your life, you need to look within and examine the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that are creating it. One of the most liberating aspects of the law of correspondence is that it puts the power back in your hands. Once you understand that the outer world reflects the inner, you realize that by changing your internal state, you can change your external circumstances. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that happens. It's not about guilt, but about empowerment. When you begin to see that the struggles and challenges in your life are not just happening to you, but are connected to what's happening inside of you, you gain the ability to take control. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change, you can actively shift your inner world and watch as the outer world starts to align with your new state of being. Think about the areas of your life where you feel stuck or dissatisfied. Maybe it's your career, relationships, or personal growth. Instead of trying to force change from the outside, consider how your inner beliefs, emotions, and thoughts might be contributing to the situation. Are you holding on to limiting beliefs about what you deserve? Are you unconsciously focusing on what could go wrong rather than on what could go right? These inner dialogues shape your outer world, and the law of correspondence invites you to explore them deeply. This principle's beauty comes in the fact that it is applicable to all aspects of life. The law of correspondence applies to many aspects of your life, including relationships, health, finances, and emotional well-being. Your inner condition is always being responded to by the outside world, which indicates where you need to make changes. Your exterior reality will more closely resemble your interior state of calm, abundance, and love, the more you connect it with your desires. Ultimately, the law of correspondence serves as a reminder that genuine transformation starts on the inside. You must transform yourself on the inside if you wish to witness a change in your life. Your outside world will inevitably change to reflect the changes you make to your inner world. The power to transform the lead of your difficulties and restrictions into the gold of development, fulfillment, and happiness is the essence of personal alchemy. What film is now playing on your inner projector, and are you prepared to switch the reel? Chapter 2. The Mirror Effect. Take a moment and think about your current life circumstances. How are things going in your relationships, your career, your health, or your personal growth? Are you happy with what you see, or do you feel frustrated by certain patterns that keep repeating no matter what you do? The truth is that your external world is a reflection of your inner state, and this connection runs deeper than we often realize. The challenges you face are not random. They are mirrors, reflecting unresolved beliefs and emotions within you. This can be a tough realization at first. It's much easier to think that life's difficulties are caused by factors outside of our control, bad luck, the behavior of others, or external circumstances. But once you begin to understand that your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are constantly shaping the world around you, you also begin to see the power you hold to change those circumstances by changing yourself. Let's consider a common scenario: financial struggles. Have you ever known someone who seems to be stuck in a cycle of financial hardship, no matter how hard they try to get ahead? They might take on extra work, budget carefully, and cut back on spending, yet they can't seem to break free from the constant stress of money problems. In many cases, this isn't just about their external efforts. There may be deep-seated beliefs at play, perhaps a subconscious belief that they don't deserve abundance, or a fear of success that causes them to self-sabotage just when things start to improve. The financial difficulties are a reflection of these inner beliefs, and no amount of external effort will change the situation until those beliefs are addressed. Another example could be seen in relationships. Maybe you've noticed that no matter who you date or befriend, the same issues keep coming up: miscommunication, trust issues, or a lack of emotional connection. On the surface, it may feel like bad luck or a string of incompatible partners, but the law of correspondence suggests otherwise. These recurring problems might be mirroring deeper beliefs about love and self-worth. If you subconsciously believe that you're unworthy of love, or that relationships always lead to disappointment, you're likely to attract situations that confirm those beliefs. It's as if your inner narrative is playing out in the people you meet, showing you what you truly believe about yourself and love, even if you're not consciously aware of it. This principle applies to every area of life. If you feel stuck in your career, always feeling unappreciated or overlooked, take a look at your internal beliefs. Do you believe that you're not good enough, or that success is always just out of reach? If so, your external reality will reflect those beliefs, creating situations where you feel undervalued or where opportunities seem to slip through your fingers. The external world acts as a mirror, showing you what's happening beneath the surface of your thoughts and emotions. The good news is that you can alter this mirror effect once you are aware of it. Awareness is the first step. Begin by considering your present situation and asking yourself, what feelings or beliefs might be influencing this situation? Examine whether you may be harboring resentment toward past injuries, or a concern of showing too much vulnerability if you're having marital problems. Think about whether you have limiting views about abundance and money if you're having financial difficulties. This is about accepting responsibility for how your inner world shapes your reality, not about blaming yourself for your difficulties. You can start to change these fundamental assumptions after you've recognized them. Though it takes time, it is completely feasible to change your thoughts with practice. Reprogramming your mind with new, more empowering beliefs can be accomplished with the help of visualization, meditation, and affirmations. For instance, you may start saying, "I am worthy of love and respect." Every day, if you've been having trouble with emotions of unworthiness in relationships, your connections will reflect this greater sense of self-worth as you gradually begin to notice changes in your external environment as you integrate this new perspective. This is where the true magic of the law of correspondence comes into play. As you transform your inner world, your outer reality begins to shift. Relationships improve, financial opportunities arise, and you find yourself in alignment with the experiences you've always desired. The mirror that once reflected your unresolved emotions and limiting beliefs now reflects your growth, your clarity, and your newfound empowerment. So, if you've been feeling stuck or frustrated with certain areas of your life, know that change is not only possible, it's within your control. By examining the mirror of your external world and making the necessary internal shifts, you can begin to create the life you truly want. The power to transform your reality starts within you, and the possibilities for change are limitless. What will you choose to reflect back into your life? Chapter 3: Attracting Situations and People. It's simple to believe that some individuals or circumstances in life, whether favorable or unfavorable, are just brought to us by coincidence. However, a closer examination reveals that there is more involved. We learn from the law of attraction and the correspondence principle that the people and situations we come across are not arbitrary. Rather, they are mirrors of our inner states, reflecting our energies, feelings, and beliefs, often without our knowledge. This can be a tough pill to take, particularly when we're in toxic or challenging circumstances. It is far more convenient to blame outside forces, assigning blame to other people, or attributing our troubles to bad luck. However, the truth is that if we keep running into difficult situations, whether it's ongoing financial difficulties, toxic relationships, or feeling stuck in our careers, it's time to examine ourselves. According to the correspondence principle, we are drawing these experiences to us because of unconscious habits, attitudes, and feelings that influence the way we engage with the outside world. Let's explore this with a common scenario: relationships. Picture someone who constantly finds themselves in toxic or unfulfilling relationships. No matter how many times they switch partners, the outcome seems to be the same: disrespect, betrayal, or lack of emotional connection. At first, it's easy for this person to think that they've just had bad luck in love, or that they keep meeting the wrong people. But if they take a step back and look through the lens of correspondence and attraction, they might start to see a pattern. The repeated experience of toxic relationships is not random. It is the result of deep, often unconscious beliefs about love, self-worth, and relationships. Perhaps this person, due to past experiences, holds an underlying belief that they are unworthy of true love, or that relationships are bound to fail. Without realizing it, these beliefs influence their actions and choices. They might subconsciously attract partners who reinforce those beliefs, people who treat them poorly, or who are emotionally unavailable. It's not that they are intentionally seeking out toxic relationships, but their inner world, filled with unresolved pain or limiting beliefs, creates a magnetic pull for these types of dynamics to repeat. Although it can be unsettling, the notion that we attract what we subconsciously believe is also very liberating. We can start to alter these habits once we acknowledge that they originate in our inner selves. We don't have to live in a state of perpetual negativity and feel like victims of our circumstances. Alternatively, we can accept accountability for our inner states and make deliberate decisions that align with the experiences we genuinely desire. Consider your own life. Have you ever observed a pattern that keeps coming up in your relationships, at work, or in other areas that you simply can't seem to get rid of? Perhaps it's getting passed over for promotions, or being surrounded by individuals who take advantage of you all the time. There is a reason for these patterns. They are indicators that something within of you requires attention. You can start to end the cycle and draw in new, better experiences by becoming conscious of these unconscious habits. The first step is self-reflection. Ask yourself, what are the beliefs I hold about this area of my life? Do I believe I'm worthy of success, love, or happiness? Or do I have deep-seated doubts or fears that are influencing my experiences? Once you start to uncover these beliefs, you can begin to challenge them. If you realize that you've been attracting toxic relationships because, deep down, you don't feel worthy of love, you can start to work on shifting that belief. This might involve affirmations, therapy, or simply being more mindful of your inner dialogue. As you change the way you feel about yourself, you will naturally begin to attract different kinds of people and situations into your life. One powerful example of this transformation is someone who struggled with toxic friendships for years. They were always the one who gave too much, while their friends took advantage, disrespected their boundaries, or never reciprocated the support. It wasn't until they looked within and realized they had a fear of abandonment, rooted in childhood experiences, that they understood why they kept attracting these unbalanced friendships. They believed on some level that they needed to overextend themselves to be loved, and that belief shaped their interactions. Once they began working on self-worth, setting healthy boundaries, and believing they deserved reciprocal relationships, they started to attract friends who respected and valued them. This example illustrates the key to breaking unconscious patterns: self-awareness and responsibility. By taking responsibility for the beliefs and emotions that are attracting certain people and situations, we can shift our energy and begin to create a different reality. It's not about blaming ourselves for the challenges we face. It's about recognizing that we have the power to change our inner world and in turn transform what we attract into our lives. So, if you're tired of the same situations showing up over and over, take a moment to look within. What patterns might be running beneath the surface? What are you attracting based on your inner state? The power to change lies within you, and as you shift your thoughts and beliefs, you'll find that your external world begins to shift as well. It's the ultimate act of personal alchemy, turning the lead of unconscious patterns into the gold of intentional, positive attraction. Chapter 4. The Ego and Spirit. In every moment of our lives, we are guided by two internal voices, the ego and the spirit. These voices offer us two very different paths, and the one we choose to listen to shapes our reality. Understanding the distinct roles of the ego and the spirit is crucial in mastering the alchemy of life, because the principle of correspondence reflects which voice we follow into the world around us. The ego is the voice of separation, fear, and blame. It thrives on creating division between ourselves and others, between who we are and who we think we should be. The ego constantly feeds us thoughts of inadequacy, judgment, and insecurity. It loves to compare, telling us that we're not enough or that others are the problem. The ego is also quick to shift blame. If things aren't going well, the ego says it's someone else's fault, our partner, our boss, or even the world itself. It creates a story where we are either the victim or the hero, but never the creator of our own experience. When we listen to the ego, we enter a cycle of dissatisfaction, conflict, and frustration. Our lives become a reflection of this inner turmoil, filled with obstacles, tension, and repetitive patterns that drain our energy. On the other hand, the spirit speaks in a quieter yet infinitely wiser voice. It's the voice of unity, peace, and love. The spirit doesn't see separation. Instead, it recognizes that we are all connected and that our experiences are shaped by our inner beliefs and actions. The spirit whispers that we are enough just as we are, and it encourages us to act with compassion, kindness, and understanding toward ourselves and others. It doesn't operate from fear, but from a deep sense of trust in life's process. The spirit understands that we are always evolving, and it guides us toward healing and growth by asking us to take responsibility for our experiences. When we follow the spirit, we are led to peace, fulfillment, and deeper connections with others. To illustrate the difference between these two voices, let's consider a common situation: conflict in a relationship. When guided by the ego, a disagreement with a partner becomes a battleground. The ego focuses on being right, on proving its point, and on blaming the other person for the problem. It thrives on defensiveness and the need for validation, often leading to arguments that spiral into deeper resentment. Even if the ego wins the argument, it leaves behind bitterness and distance, damaging the relationship. Now consider the same conflict, but approached with guidance from the spirit. The spirit doesn't care about winning or proving a point. It cares about understanding and connection. Instead of blaming the other person, the spirit asks, "What is this conflict trying to teach me? How can I approach this with love and patience?" This voice encourages open communication, empathy, and the willingness to see things from the other person's perspective. When we listen to the spirit, we focus on resolution, not conflict. We seek to heal the relationship rather than damage it further. The result is growth, both within the relationship and within ourselves. The ego thrives on control and fear, while the spirit thrives on surrender and love. When we let the ego dominate, we feel constantly stressed, worried, and anxious. We try to control outcomes, and when things don't go as planned, we spiral into frustration or despair. This creates a reality filled with obstacles, where we constantly feel like we're fighting against life. But when we listen to the spirit, we find peace in knowing that we don't need to control everything. The spirit teaches us to trust the process and to approach life with an open heart. In this space of surrender, we stop resisting and begin to flow with life. Our external world starts to reflect this peace, and we attract situations and people that align with our growth and happiness. So which voice are you listening to? It's easy to fall into the trap of the ego because it's often the loudest voice in the room. The ego likes to make its presence known, flooding our minds with anxious thoughts and judgmental narratives. But the spirit's voice, though quieter, is always there, offering us the opportunity to choose peace over conflict, trust over fear, and growth over blame. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. In moments of conflict or challenge, which voice are you following? Are you listening to the ego's demands for control, validation, and blame, or are you tuning into the spirit's call for understanding, compassion, and inner peace? The good news is that at any moment, you can shift from the ego to the spirit. It's not about silencing the ego completely, it will always be a part of us, but it's about recognizing when the ego is taking control and consciously choosing to listen to the spirit instead. By choosing to follow the spirit, you open yourself up to a life of deeper fulfillment, where your outer world reflects the peace and unity you cultivate within. The principle of correspondence ensures that as you choose inner harmony, your external life will begin to mirror that choice. It's the ultimate act of personal alchemy, transforming the lead of fear and separation into the gold of love and unity. The question is, which voice will you choose to guide you on this journey of transformation? Chapter 5. Breaking Negative Cycles. Negative cycles can feel like an inescapable loop: repeated arguments in relationships, ongoing financial stress, or recurring disappointments in your career. It can feel as though life is constantly serving up the same challenges, no matter how hard you try to change things. The truth is, these cycles are not random, nor are they set in stone. They are reflections of unresolved emotional patterns, beliefs, and inner wounds. One of the most powerful tools for breaking these negative cycles is forgiveness. When we forgive, we are not just letting go of anger toward another person. We are engaging in an act of inner alchemy that can dissolve deeply rooted patterns and open the door to new possibilities. The power of forgiveness is misunderstood. Many people believe that it is something we do for other people, a technique to clear someone of guilt. However, genuine forgiveness is an inward effort. It's about breaking free from the emotional bonds that bind you to the past, not about the other person. We allow our reality to be shaped by our feelings of hurt, wrath, and blame when we fail to forgive. Our perception of the world is filtered by these unresolved emotions, which draw in similar circumstances that amplify our hurt or rage. Therefore, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself rather than to other people. It is a self-liberating act that enables you to let go of the emotional burden, preventing you from creating a new, healthier world. Imagine lugging a bulky rucksack full of unresolved disputes and old grudges. The weight makes every step feel more difficult, but you keep adding to the load. You eventually get so accustomed to the weight that it becomes a permanent aspect of who you are. Forgiveness is like finally feeling the freedom of being free after removing that backpack. Your present is no longer determined by the past, and you may proceed with newfound vigor and opportunity. A simple yet powerful way to begin the process of forgiveness is through a journaling exercise. Take a piece of paper and write down the names of people or situations that have caused you pain, anger, or resentment. These might be recent conflicts or old wounds that you've carried for years. As you write, allow yourself to fully acknowledge the emotions you feel without judgment. Once you've finished, take a moment to breathe deeply and consciously choose to release each of these grievances. You can say something like, "I forgive name or situation, and I release this from my heart and mind. I free myself from this burden and allow healing to take its place." You may even choose to burn the paper as a symbolic act of letting go. This exercise isn't about excusing harmful behavior or forgetting the past. It's about choosing not to let it control your present. To see how forgiveness can transform a negative cycle, let's consider the story of a woman named Anna. For years, Anna found herself attracting partners who mistreated her, emotionally unavailable, manipulative, or dismissive. Each relationship ended in heartbreak, and she began to believe that love wasn't meant for her. She blamed her bad luck, wondering why she kept meeting the wrong people. But after a series of failed relationships, Anna decided to look inward. With the help of a therapist, she realized that she was still carrying unresolved anger and hurt from her parents' tumultuous marriage. She had never forgiven her father for abandoning the family, nor her mother for the emotional neglect she experienced growing up. This unresolved pain had shaped her beliefs about love, leading her to unconsciously seek out relationships that mirrored the dysfunction of her childhood. When Anna began the process of forgiveness, everything changed. She wrote letters to both her parents, not to send them, but to release the emotional weight she had carried for so long. In these letters, she expressed her anger, her hurt, and ultimately, her forgiveness. She realized that by holding on to the pain, she had been reliving it in every relationship. Through forgiveness, she was able to break the cycle. For the first time in her life, Anna felt free to experience love without fear or self-sabotage. She started attracting partners who treated her with kindness and respect because she had finally made peace with the past. Forgiveness had opened the door to a new chapter in her life, one where she was no longer a prisoner of old wounds. Anna's story is a powerful reminder that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about releasing the emotional energy that keeps us trapped in negative cycles. By forgiving, we don't condone harmful behavior. Instead, we free ourselves from its lingering effects. This act of inner alchemy allows us to transform the lead of resentment into the gold of healing and new possibilities. When we let go of the past, we make space for the future. The process of forgiveness breaks the cycle of repetition, allowing us to move forward unburdened by old patterns. Whether it's a relationship, a career setback, or any other area of life where you feel stuck, forgiveness offers a path to freedom. It's an act of self-love, and through it, you can begin to shape a reality that reflects peace, growth, and transformation. Chapter 6. Decluttering your mind and environment. We often think of clutter as something that accumulates in our physical spaces, piles of papers, clothes strewn about, or the ever-growing collection of things we don't really need. But clutter exists on many levels, both physical and mental, and it has a far-reaching impact on our sense of well-being. What if the clutter in your surroundings wasn't just about disorganization, but a reflection of something deeper going on inside? The principle of correspondence teaches us that as within, so without. If your external space is in disarray, it's likely that your mind is also cluttered with unresolved thoughts, anxieties, and distractions. The more we allow clutter to accumulate, the more it blocks the flow of new energy and opportunities into our lives. Imagine your life as a river, meant to flow smoothly and freely. Clutter, whether it's in your home, your office, or your mind, acts like debris in the water, causing blockages and disruptions. It creates stagnation, making it difficult for new ideas, possibilities, or personal growth to come through. When your environment is filled with unnecessary items, or your mind is constantly bombarded with thoughts, you're left feeling overwhelmed, scattered, and unable to focus on what truly matters. There is a clear correlation between interior turmoil and exterior clutter. Have you ever entered a disorganized space and noticed an instant increase in your stress levels? Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to focus when your desk is cluttered with books, papers, and other miscellaneous items? Your mental and emotional condition can be significantly impacted by the physical environment you live in. Comparably, if your head is overflowing with concerns, unfinished work, or unresolved feelings, it may show up in your physical surroundings, creating a vicious cycle where clutter from the inside and the outside feeds into one another. The good news is that you can make room in both your mental and physical worlds by cleaning your surroundings. You can send a strong message to yourself by getting rid of things that no longer serve you, like an old stack of magazines or repetitious, useless thoughts. I am ready to shed the past and make place for something new. So how do you start to clear your body and mind? Consider your surroundings first. Choose one room that feels especially overwhelming, such as your workspace, a disorganized kitchen counter, or a crowded wardrobe. Breathe deeply and approach it purposefully. Ask yourself as you look through the things, does this have a purpose in my life? Does it make me happy or valuable? It's time to let it go if the response is negative. Getting rid of tangible items that are no longer useful to you might help you feel peaceful and organized, so that fresh energy can enter your area. After you've improved your physical area, focus on your mental health. Similar to how we build up physical clutter, unanswered thoughts, anxieties, and distractions are examples of mental clutter that accumulates in our minds. Mindfulness exercises are a great method to clear the mind. Begin by allocating a little period of time each day to sit in silence and concentrate on your breathing. Just accept ideas as they come to you and let them go without passing judgment. As you develop perspective and clarity over time, this technique makes room in your mind for fresh concepts, opportunities, and answers. Making a mental to-do list is another useful strategy. Put everything on paper, including things you've been putting off, interactions you've been avoiding, and chores you need to finish. After everything is on paper, rank the things that must be done right away and those that can wait. Putting your thoughts in order can help you focus better by reducing mental stress and giving you a sense of control. Take the example of David, a busy professional who felt totally overburdened by his life. To understand how decluttering may change both the inside and the outside. Papers were stacked high, old bills were strewn all over his desk, and files were shoved carelessly into drawers in his disorganized home office. He felt that there weren't enough hours in the day to accomplish everything, which caused him to be under constant stress. His workspace was as cluttered as his thoughts were. His productivity suffered as a result of his inability to concentrate. One weekend, David decided enough was enough. He dedicated time to clearing out his office. He shredded old documents, organized his files, and created designated spaces for everything he needed. The process of decluttering felt therapeutic. Each item he let go of seemed to lighten his mental load. By the time he finished, not only was his office more functional, but his mind felt clearer too. With the physical clutter gone, he could concentrate more fully on his work, and he noticed his stress levels began to drop. The simple act of organizing his environment had a profound effect on his mental and emotional state. David's experience shows how closely connected our internal and external worlds are. By clearing away the excess, he was able to create a space that supported his goals and well-being. His office no longer felt like a source of stress, but a place of calm and focus. This is the power of decluttering. It's not just about cleaning up, but about creating space for transformation to take place. When you declutter your mind and environment, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You create room for growth, new ideas, and opportunities to flow into your life. The process may seem small, but the impact is profound. As you clear away the old, you make way for the new, both in your surroundings and in your inner world. And in doing so, you take one step closer to mastering the alchemy of life, transforming chaos into clarity and stagnation into the flow. Chapter 7. Practical exercises for inner and outer alignment. When it comes to transforming your life, understanding the principle of correspondence is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you start aligning your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, with the external reality you desire. This isn't just a theoretical concept, it's a practical process that you can integrate into your daily life. By doing so, you harness the power to shape your world with intention, clarity, and focus. To achieve this, it's essential to practice daily reflection, visualization, and intentional action, tools that help align your inner state with the life you want to create. One of the most effective exercises for aligning your inner world with your external desires is daily reflection. Taking time each day to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and actions helps you stay conscious of the energy you are putting out into the world. It's as simple as finding a quiet moment in the morning or evening to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What emotions am I carrying? What beliefs are guiding my choices today? Reflection is like holding up a mirror to your inner self. By consistently engaging in this practice, you gain awareness of what's happening inside you and how it might be influencing the reality you experience. Another effective strategy for coordinating your inner state with your objectives is visualization. When you see something clearly and vividly, you activate the identical portions of your brain that would be used if it were truly happening. The mind is an extraordinarily creative engine. This implies that you are basically teaching your mind to produce the results you want by engaging in visualization exercises. To begin, locate a peaceful area, close your eyes, and see the life you wish to build. Think about it in depth, including the appearance, sensation, and feelings you would feel if you were living that reality. Your ideas, emotions, and energies are more in line with that result, the more clearly you can visualize it. If you want to succeed in your work, for instance, don't only picture yourself accomplishing a certain goal. Instead, picture the daily sense of accomplishment, fulfillment, and confidence that comes with it. You begin to embody the spirit of success by losing yourself in this mental image, which draws opportunities and circumstances that support your vision. It involves actively coordinating your thoughts and feelings with what you intend to create in order to affect your external reality, rather than merely wishing for something and waiting for it to happen. Intentional action is the next step after practicing visualization and introspection. Your daily routine might change if you start each day with certain goals in mind. More than just objectives, intentions serve as declarations of purpose that assist in coordinating your actions with the results you hope to achieve. You're basically telling the universe and yourself, "This is what I choose to focus on today," when you set an intention. This could be as straightforward as deciding to be more patient in your relationships, or as detailed as deciding to come up with an original solution to a problem at work. You can begin each day by taking a deep breath, setting an objective for the day, and reflecting for a few minutes after waking up. Whatever strikes a chord with you, either write it down or say it out loud. Today, I choose to focus on productivity and creativity in my work, or I want to face every circumstance with calm and confidence, are examples of positive, present-focused language that can be used to achieve this. Whenever you feel sidetracked or unsteady during the day, go back to your original goal. By directing your behaviors in a way that promotes your development and objectives, this technique will assist you in maintaining alignment with your intended results. It's crucial to keep in mind that you're aligning your entire existence, not just your thoughts, with your objectives. This implies that your feelings, ideas, and behavior must all be in balance. If uncertainty or dread rule your emotions, it is insufficient to think positively. If your heart is not in it, it is also insufficient to act. When your aims are reflected in your actions, your ideas are clear, and your emotions are encouraging, you are truly aligned. This leads to one of the most empowering truths. By intentionally changing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, you can direct the course of your life. The law of correspondence ensures that your outer world will always mirror your inner state. If you want to experience abundance, love, or success, you must first embody those qualities internally. By consistently practicing reflection, visualization, and intentional action, you are actively shifting your inner world, which will then be reflected in the opportunities, relationships, and circumstances that come into your life. The power of this process cannot be overstated. When you make inner alignment a daily practice, you'll start to notice tangible transformations in your life. You'll see that the situations you once struggled with become easier to navigate, that relationships become more harmonious, and that new opportunities seem to arise effortlessly. It's not that the world has changed, it's that you have changed, and the world is now reflecting that transformation back to you. So, start today. Reflect on where you are, visualize where you want to be, and take intentional steps toward that vision. The journey of mastering the alchemy of life begins with aligning your inner self with your outer desires. And once you do, you'll find that the possibilities for transformation are limitless. You have the power to shape your reality. Now it's time to use it. Conclusion. As we come to the close of this exploration into the law of correspondence and inner transformation, one thing becomes clear. You hold the power to shape your reality. By mastering the principle of as within, so without, you become the true alchemist of your life, able to transform not only your circumstances, but your entire experience of the world. Every thought, emotion, and belief is like a tool at your disposal, waiting to be used to create the life you desire. This isn't just a passive observation. It's an invitation to actively engage with the world from the inside out. Think of the areas of your life that feel out of alignment, or the patterns that seem to repeat no matter what you do. Now realize that these external challenges are mirrors, reflecting back the state of your inner world. If you want to break the cycle, it starts with a shift within. The power to change is already yours. The beauty of this process is that you don't have to wait for some perfect moment. You can begin today. Start by reflecting on what's going on inside you right now. Are there limiting beliefs holding you back? Unresolved emotions clouding your judgment? Take a moment to explore these inner landscapes and make the conscious decision to shift. It doesn't have to be drastic. Small changes in your thoughts, a shift in your emotional responses, or even a more mindful approach to everyday actions can set the wheels of transformation in motion. This process of inner alignment is a lifelong journey, but it starts with one decision: the choice to become an alchemist in your own life. The choice to stop blaming external circumstances and instead look within. Every day offers you the opportunity to reflect, realign, and step forward in a new direction. The law of correspondence is always working, whether you're conscious of it or not. So why not harness its power to create the reality you want? As you move forward, remember that your life is a mirror of your inner world. What you nurture within, whether it's love, abundance, peace, or clarity, will inevitably reflect in your outer experiences. So what will you choose to create? The answer is yours to decide, and in that choice lies the essence of true alchemy. Now is the time to step into that role, embrace your power, and begin shaping your life from the inside out.